So the only way to true inner peace and joy is to give up seeking completely. That may frustrate you. That may seem ridiculous. I gave this example, one of these talks, I don't know, in the last 3 talks, I gave an example as, our minds, they're traumatized from when we were children and by society. So our minds are traumatized and our minds see fires everywhere. They're just looking and they're like, there's a fire, there's a fire, there's a fire. And we believe it. And so they're like, well, people hate you, or you're not good enough, or you're unlovable, or that person's trying to cheat you, or, it's so sad. Life is so sad. Life is so, we just have all these beliefs and conditions, and they're not true. They're true to our minds, and that's fine. It's fine. It's fine to listen and comfort your ego. But then it says, yeah, because I feel so crappy, you should try to quiet me. So let's take 20 years of practicing techniques, or you should try to reprogram me. I've done a lot of reprogramming. Oh gosh, I've done a lot of hypnosis and subliminals, and I've paid people to use NLP and all kind. I mean, if there's a way to try to reprogram my mind, I didn't understand that the thoughts are like at the surface level, and where the charge that causes the thoughts to come up and to stick is from all the stuck emotion and trauma and from our childhood. You can't really reprogram your mind. You might have a breakthrough here and there, but it's not. I mean, it's a big industry. They're selling a lot. A lot of people selling a lot. Everyone's got their way to reprogram your money beliefs, your relationship belief. So your mind is like an arsonist. It's setting fires everywhere and wants you to become a fireman and get a PhD and spend the next 20, 30, 40 years trying to figure out how to put out all these fires. And the reality is there's really no fire. There's really no fire. So the only way to true inner peace and joy is to give up seeking completely, not a little bit, but completely. But now we come to the dilemma. So before I get to my dilemma, I forgot to put his name on here, but this is a man I dearly love and I consider a mentor of mine. I don't know if he considers himself as my mentor, but I love this man dearly. His name is Abdi Electricity. But he said, this is kind of a paraphrase, but it's pretty close to what he said. But to become enlightened, you must allow everything. That's true. But if you want to be enlightened, you're not allowing. So it's like a dog chasing its tail. You say, okay, well, I want peace and joy, so I'm just going to stop seeking, or I'm going to seek, and you seek and seek and seek and seek, and then you go, that didn't work. Okay, well, I've heard if I stop seeking, I'll get freedom. So you stop seeking, but that's still your mind. There's a fire. There's a fire. It's kind of a cosmic joke. Once we all die, we'll laugh about it. But down here on Earth, it's not that funny. Right? So I did not know that I would feel better when my mind my ego spontaneously just decided, I don't know how to fix myself. I'm just going to leave myself alone because it's impossible. It had to get to the point where it really said, hey, look, it's impossible. I had to try everything as hard as I could, as long as I could, sleeping with, programming things, subliminals and paraliminals, and oh man. And so this is a thing that happens. Is one of the reasons why I didn't want to tell anybody, because I thought it was really cruel. And like when this, book came out and these courses came through, at first I was like, oh man, this is like somebody wins the lottery and goes around telling people how to win the lottery. You can't. But over time, it's come to me a process. It's a gentle, slow process, but you need to leave yourself alone completely, and you can't stop yourself from seeking. So leaving yourself alone means when you want to seek, it's okay. You either do or you don't. You can, if your mind says, let's read a self-help book, take a deep breath, listen to it. And if your heart says, read it, read it. If your heart says, nah, I'd rather go take a walk. I'd rather go see my grandkids, or, you know what I mean? Just, if you're, and I think I said this before, but if you're in a movie theater and you're really sucked in, right? It's dark and you don't realize you're sitting there, you're just sucked in. It seems very serious what's about to happen. But if they flip the light on for a second and then turn them back off, or somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, Chuck, that's just a movie. You're just in the movie there. You're like, oh yeah, until you get sucked back in for those moments or seconds or minutes, you're just like, oh yeah, it's a movie. Oh, this is good, or this is bad, or oh gosh, I'm a little worried. I feel fear, but it's not a big deal. I find our seems very serious. It's supposed to. It's supposed to seem serious, but it's not. And look, my dad died last year of medical irresponsibility. My uncle died of medical irresponsibility. My kids are actually saved by the medical establishment that I kind of have loathed. So my kids almost died. It's a long story, but my mother has some sort of dementia-ish thing creeping on. I got friends that a lot of people have died of cancer, and I can just go on and on and on. There's so many things I don't like. And I'm not saying intellectually we're supposed to tell ourselves, oh, it's okay. It's okay. You feel what you feel. But the construction worker who's tearing apart a house doesn't understand that there's going to be a bigger, better house. And so when we see things that are hard, we don't understand them. We interpret them innocently, interpret them incorrectly. We don't understand the plan. We don't understand why we're here. And it's part of it. I mean, there is chances that you're here to experience like, this is like, life is like a movie. Like you come here, you're up in heaven, or wherever, the ethers, and you feel great. You feel connected. You feel wonderful. And at some point you're like, I want to go to the movies. So you put in your application to be born on Earth, and when your number comes up, you're telling all your friends about, oh man, I can't wait. Like, oh wow, what are you going to do? What'd you sign up for? Oh, I told them not to tell me. I don't want to know. And other people are like, yeah, I signed up for, like, be homeless. Homeless? Oh my gosh, that must have been terrible. Oh, it was so horrible. Oh my gosh, but oh man, that was fun. Oh, I signed up to be like rich and powerful. And they're like, wow, how was that? That's pretty good. I don't know. It's kind of hard with all the poor people around, but it was fun, to buy things for a while. I don't know. It gets old, If you don't have everything you want, and it kind of gets old, but it was still okay. It wasn't bad, So people are just, and you go, they put you, bam, you're in a bar, you're getting spanked, and your parents are traumatized, and they're loving you the best, very, very best they can, and very, very, very imperfectly. And you get all these beliefs and conditioning. It's like an astronaut with a computer that's like, gets all corroded and messed up and it's giving you wrong information, and you walk around and start believing over years and time, and it's in your nervous system, that there's something wrong with you and you're not lovable and there's a problem to be solved. The mind believes, the traumatized ego believes there's a problem to be solved. And you go on a quest. You're like doing yoga and meditation, and you join a monastery, or you know, go see a Tony Robbins, and who I think's great. I mean, I'm not against Tony Robbins. You may not like him. I'm just saying, a high achievement is just as good as low achievement. I do have a book title called The Power of a Mediocre Life, but I think I'll write at some point, because we miss the simple beauty, the simple joy of just being alive. And it doesn't matter if you have outward success or not. What matters is if you follow your heart. You can be a janitor and follow your heart. You can be a janitor and follow your heart, and you end up a preacher or a healer, or you might just still be a janitor. It doesn't matter. I've been a computer programmer for 30 years. The last 11, I've retired now, but I mean, the last 11, retired to do this. Last 11 years, I was a programmer. There was some ups and downs, but my mind really likes solving problems. I have a very active mind. It loves to programming is like, how's it? And then it wants to do it efficiently. It's really proud of how it, it's like it did the most efficient, elegant, bug-free, I go to places like the doctor's office and other places, and people are always complaining about their software. I'm thinking, they should have hired me. Anyway, so yes, our minds don't understand why we're here. It doesn't understand what's happening. Life is too complicated for our egos to understand.